which is required to start the vehicle. We have completed. Next, fourth module is in general. Okay, so about two additional mechanisms, that is superchargers and turbochargers. So these are the upcoming technologies in the vehicles for better efficiencies. Okay, in detail, we will be studying about that. And the next part will be fuels and fuel supply systems. Okay, in both petrol and diesel engine, how the combustion takes place, what are the different fuels used, what would be the alternate fuels. Okay, fuel injection or fuel supply system means it requires some injection pumps, filters, okay, etc. So the complete mechanism of fuel injection system combustion we will be studying in detail. So in this module there are two parts. One is the study of superchargers and turbochargers. Okay. The second is about the different fuels and the fuel injection system in petrol and diesel engines. Okay. So we have to study about the combustion phenomena also in this module. Okay. So coming to the introduction part. So in the engine, the combustion of fuel with oxygen, okay, provides the energy to drive the piston. So why do we call it as heart of the entire automobile? Chemical fuel will be taken in the presence of oxygen. Combustion takes place. Because of combustion, we will get the mechanical energy, which will be required for the movement of the vehicle. Okay. In petrol engine, SI means in the first module only we have studied. SI engine means spark ignition engine. Okay. Or in other words, it is a petrol engine. First, air fuel mixture is drawn in. The working of petrol and diesel engine we have discussed in detail in the first module only. Correct? So there will be a carburetor, air fuel mixture will be taken inside the cylinder. Okay. After complete combustion, the products will move. So here the mixing of air and fuel takes place outside the engine. Okay. So the process of preparing this mixture is called as carburation. Okay. The system responsible for preparing the correct mixture of air and fuel, directing the mixture to the cylinder, is called as the inducting system. In this sketch, you can very clearly see. Okay. So this is the inducting system. Okay. So this is responsible for taking the correct quantity of fuel, correct quantity of air, okay, mixing it properly. Then the ready mixture will be fed into the cylinder. So that is why petrol engines are very silent in operation. They work at a lower pressure. Okay. So all the mixing process will take place in the external mechanism. Whereas diesel engine, okay, they work under very high compression ratios, very high pressures. The fuel has to catch fire, okay, only because of the high pressure and temperature. The fuel reaches the self-ignition temperature. Because of that, it has to catch fire on its own and it has to run. Okay, that is why noise will be more. Okay, so this is the mechanism of induction in a petrol engine. Okay, just take down. So this is a carburation mechanism. Different types of carburetors we will be studying in the coming chapter. I mean the coming slides we will be studying it. Please make a note of it. Okay. So next, so this is about how a petrol engine works and what is the induction system. Okay, if you consider the induction system for a CI engine, that is a diesel engine, we will have a fuel pump, okay, and then fuel injector. Okay, so that injector is responsible for converting the fuel into very fine droplets. Okay, so when it enters into the cylinder, at this point, when the fuel enters into the cylinder, it will be in the form of very fine droplets. Okay, already initially the air will be sucked in. at the end of the compression stroke, the fuel will be allowed. When the fuel is sprayed, what happens here? The air is already compressed to 1:18 to 1:20 compression ratio, very high compression ratios, so that the temperature and pressure inside the chamber will be high. When the small droplets enters into the cylinder, it catches fire and starts burning. Okay, so that is how in a induction system in a diesel engine works. Okay, so this will be the working of the diesel engine, right? So first we will discuss about different types of fuels and what are the different alternate fuels that can be used. So in petroleum based fuels, the main source of engine fuel is the crude petroleum. Okay, the oil taken out from the deposits, okay, from the oil wells, okay, or we can call it as mines. It is a mixture of many hydrocarbons. Okay, it will be further processed to yield gasoline. So usually we don't import petrol or diesel directly. The crude oil, okay, which will be very thick, will be imported. There will be refineries. Okay. So you know about many companies like BP, Bharat Petroleum, Reliance, okay, HP, Hindustan Petroleum. What do? They import the crude oil. Okay. They will be having refineries wherein they will be refined. Okay. So we call a process as called as fractional distillation, in which various fractions of fuel. Initially, when you start heating that at a very low temperature, okay, high-speed petrol will be available, which will be used in jets, aircraft. Then you will get petrol, then diesel, then kerosene. Like the different components will be there in the crude oil. So all these components will be separated. Suitable additives will be added to them to make it more stable, and then they will be through supply chain management, they will be spread across the country. They will be supplied across the country. Okay. So the oil which is taken out from these deposits, it will be a mixture of many hydrocarbons. It will be mixture of petrol, diesel, okay, many paraffins, olefins, etc. Many hydrocarbon chains. In this, okay, they will be separated, and particular product like petrol will be used for small scale vehicles, diesel for compression ignition engines, like kerosene for combustion purpose. Okay, like that it will be used. So what do you mean by these hydrocarbons? Okay, the crude oil, what does it consist? It consists of a mixture of hydrocarbons. Okay, usually they are called as paraffins. Okay, there will be saturated, straight chain or branched hydrocarbons will be there. Okay, so what do you mean by this straight chain or branched? It will be a structure of many hydrogen and carbon atoms. Okay, so they will be in various forms. Okay. The first most composition of any hydrocarbon or crude oil is the paraffin. Next are the olefins. They are unsaturated in nature, usually represented as CnH2n. That is, if C2 is there, H4, C3, H6, like that. Here it is CnH2n plus 2. That is, if C2 is there, it will be H6, C2H6. Okay. That is 2 carbon atoms. Okay. There will be 6 hydrogen atoms. Like this, the chains will be there. Okay, they will be saturated in nature. They will all be linked like this. Okay. Similarly, here C2H4, C3H6. Okay, they are all called as olefins. They are unsaturated in nature. Okay. Next, naphthalines will be there. Okay, they will be usually having ring-like structures. Okay. Next, aromatics like benzene, etc. They should be totally removed out because they are not very harmful to the atmosphere. Okay. Some aromatics will have anti-knock characteristics. Okay. These paraffins will have anti-knock characteristics for the diesel engine, whereas these aromatics will have the anti-knock characteristics for the SI, that is petroleum. So these are the major combinations that are present in any hydrocarbon. The mixture of all these hydrocarbon, we call it as a crude oil. That crude oil can be fractionated to get whatever product we want, like petrol, diesel, etc. Right? Now, so this is about the crude oil. Now, what should be the properties of any engine fuel? What are the desirable properties of an engine fuel? One, it should have high anti-knock rating. Okay, what do you mean by knocking? Okay, knocking is an abnormal combustion phenomena, wherein there will be a backfiring taking place, because of which there will be a severe loss of the energy, as well as sometimes the engine may get damaged off due to continuous knocking. When this knock rating of the fuel is very high, you can use high compression ratios. Instead of 1:18 in a diesel engine, you can use 1:22. When you compress the air to very high compression ratios, complete combustion of fuel takes place. so that you will get a higher mileage or efficiency. So detailed study about the knock we will be doing in upcoming slides. That is a completely different topic. We will be studying it in detail. Next, volatility. Volatility should be high. Okay, high volatility improves stability and fuel distribution. Okay, see, for storage, always the volatility should be less. Okay, that is what do you mean by volatile? For example, if you keep petrol outside the in outside air, what happens over a time? It starts evaporating. It is highly volatile. See, if such volatility is there, what happens? You will get better combustion characteristics in the engine. You can shift the fuel from the fuel tank to the engine very easily, but storage will be a big headache. Storage losses will be more. Okay. Next, calorific value is the heat content. I think you might have come across this word many times. In elements of mechanical engineering also you have studied. The calorific value is the heat content. When you burn a unit fuel, quantity of fuel, how much heat is liberated, that will be given by the calorific value. Usually it is defined in megajoules per kg Kelvin, like that unit. Okay. It should have minimum gum content, that is olefins, whatever we studied, that should be very less. What happens if this gum is more? The fuel injector opening will be in terms of microns, 10 to the power of minus 6 meters, very small. If there are any gum contents in the fuel, okay, what happens? They will go and block the fuel injector. Combustion becomes very difficult. There will be starting problems in the engine. Okay. And sulfur content should be very less. There are two problems. If there is any sulfur content in the fuel, in the output, that is in the emissions, oxides of sulfur, usually we call it as SOx, okay, SOx, that will be formed, which is the major contributor of acid rains. Okay. You know, we have studied about acid rains in your school days only. That is one problem. Second is the fuel shifting pipelines, injectors, etc. becomes leads that will be exhibited to corrosion. Corrosion is one of the major problem. Whenever sulfur is present in the fuel, they get corroded, and over a period of time, leakage. So anyway, fuel tank will not be a problem, because earlier days in olden cars or olden trucks, metal tanks were used. Now, usually in almost all the cars, we can see plastic tanks are used. High grade plastic could be used, except in the trucks, day old trucks, metal tanks are used, coated. Otherwise, almost all we depend on plastic only. But fuel supply lines will be usually made up of metal only. So corrosion problems will be there. So these are the desirable properties. That is, it should have high anti-knock rating, okay, moderate volatility, so that storage should also be easy. Transportation in the fuel chain should also be easy. Calorific value, heat content should be as high as possible. Gum content in the fuel should be as less as possible, and sulfur content should be almost nil, so that harmful emissions will not be there and corrosion issues will not be there. Okay. Please make a note of these points. Okay. Usually they ask for 8 to 10 marks. What would be the desirable property of an engine fuel? Okay, you have to mention this and you have to describe in detail. See, about calorific value and knocking, we will be studying in the upcoming slides. Okay. You have to understand the concept there and you have to describe in brief here. Please make a note of it. Okay, so usually it will be 8 to 10 marks question. you have to give a detailed description of the desirable properties of engine fuels, right? Next, so first we will study about the conventional fuels used in automobiles. So in most of the cases, 99% of the cases, we can see either petrol or diesel will be used. Okay. Usually in transportation sector or cargo sectors, diesel will be used. Okay. In light motor vehicles like cars, two-wheelers, etc., petrol will be used. So what are the properties of petrol? Its technical name is gasoline. It is a mixture of hydrocarbons obtained by refining the crude. In the very first slide, we have studied about this. Crude oil consists of many components. After refining at a certain temperature and certain pressure, we get out this. We get petrol as a byproduct. Yeah. So its vapor pressure is around 35 to 70 kilopascal at temperature of 38. Usually, vapor pressure will be defined at a temperature in the range of 38 to 40 degrees centigrade. So its vapor pressure ranges from 35 to 70 kilopascal. Its volatility is less, okay, so which may lead to difficult in starting. Okay, vapor lock is a common phenomena where at very low temperatures only fuel vapor forms and it will lock certain parts of the fuel chain. Okay, so scuffing takes place. So these are some of the issues, okay, that will be usually seen. Crankcase oil dilution, so leakage of this fuel into the crankcase. Okay, we have studied about the engine oils. Okay, so crankcase, if it mixes, okay, it forms a gum-like product. Okay, that is also a problem. Okay, specific gravity, right? Its range is in the 0.7 to 0.78. So that is nothing but the density of the given fluid to density of the standard fluid. So you can call 700 to 780 kg per meter cube will be the density. Okay, or 0.7 to 0.78 will be the specific gravity. Usually to measure this, we use a term called as API, American Petroleum Index. Okay, so there is a standard formula. So you can calculate API using 143.5 divided by specific gravity of any given fuel at 15.5 Fahrenheit. Okay, so 143.5 divided by 0.78, roughly it gives 131.5. So that is the degree of API of the petrol what we get in India. Okay, so this is the commonly used term across the globe to measure the specific gravity of the fuel. We call it as American Petroleum Index. So calorific value of petrol is about 45 megajoules per kg. It is really excellent. Okay. It has a very high calorific value we can call. That is 45 megajoules of heat is released when you burn 1 kg of petrol. Okay. It is almost, we can say it is a superior form of fuel. Okay. Specific heat is around 2.1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin, and octane rating. For diesel fuels, we call it as cetane rating. For petrol fuel, we call it as octane rating. Okay, in India, the minimum octane number should be 87. What is this octane? Okay, in the upcoming slides, we will be defining it and discussing about that in detail. So in general, I can say it is a number which represents how good the fuel is against the knocking.